A ship vanishes without a trace in 1933, only to reappear 90 years later, drifting silently across the same waters where it disappeared. The crew is gone. Every single person who sailed aboard that vessel has vanished. And what investigators find inside changes everything we thought we knew about the ocean's darkest secrets. Before we dive in, what time are you listening? Where are you from? Drop a comment below and tell me. And please like and subscribe for more videos like this. The year is 2023, and a small fishing vessel is operating off the coast of Newfoundland. The captain notices something strange on the radar. A massive object is drifting slowly through the fog. At first, he thinks it might be a cargo ship that lost power, but as his boat moves closer, the fog begins to clear. What emerges from the mist makes his blood run cold. The ship ahead is ancient. The hull is covered in rust and barnacles. The paint has faded to almost nothing, but the name is still visible on the side. SS Arcturus. The captain's hands start shaking. He knows that name. Every sailor in these waters knows that name. The SS Arcturus disappeared in 1933 with 47 crew members aboard. It was declared lost at sea. No wreckage was ever found. No bodies were ever recovered. And now, 90 years later, it has returned. The fishing captain immediately radios the Coast Guard. Within hours, a team is dispatched to investigate. They approach the ship carefully. There is no sound coming from the vessel. No lights, no movement, just silence. The investigators board the ship, and what they find is beyond anything they imagined. The deck is empty. The lifeboats are still in place. There is no sign of a struggle, no blood, no damage. It is as if the crew simply vanished into thin air. One investigator walks toward the captain's quarters. The door is locked from the inside. He forces it open. Inside, the room is untouched. The bed is made. A logbook sits on the desk. He picks it up and opens it. The last entry is dated November 12, 1933. The handwriting is shaky, almost frantic. It reads, "We should not have come this far. The water is wrong. The compass will not stop spinning. The men are hearing things. Voices from below. I do not know how much longer we can hold on." The investigator feels a chill run down his spine. He flips through the rest of the logbook, but the remaining pages are blank. He sets it down and looks around the room. Everything is exactly as it was 90 years ago. The captain's coat still hangs on a hook. A cup sits on the desk, still half full of liquid that has long since evaporated into a dark stain. But there is no captain, no crew, just an empty ship. The investigator steps back onto the deck. His team is scattered across the vessel, searching every corner. One of them shouts from below. He has found something in the cargo hold. The investigator rushes down the narrow staircase. The cargo hold is dark and cold. The air smells of salt and rust. In the center of the room, there are dozens of crates. The investigator approaches one and pries it open. Inside, there are provisions, food, water, supplies meant to last weeks. None of it has been touched. The crew never even opened the cargo. They disappeared before they had a chance. Another investigator calls out from the engine room. The investigator makes his way through the narrow corridors. The engine room is in perfect condition. The machinery is old but intact. There is no sign of mechanical failure. No fire, no explosion. Nothing that would explain why the ship stopped. But then he notices something strange. The fuel tanks are completely full. The ship never ran out of fuel. It never broke down. It simply stopped, as if someone or something turned it off. The investigator kneels down and examines the floor. There are marks, scratches, deep gouges in the metal. They lead toward a hatch in the corner of the room. He walks over and pulls the hatch open. Below is a small compartment. It is flooded with seawater. He shines his flashlight into the darkness. At the bottom, barely visible, is a pile of chains. Heavy iron chains, the kind used to anchor cargo. But they are not attached to anything. They are just lying there in a tangled heap. The investigator reaches down and pulls one up. It is cold, freezing cold, colder than the water around it. He drops it back into the compartment and closes the hatch. The team regroups on the deck. They have searched every inch of the ship. There is no crew, no bodies, no sign of what happened. But there is something else, something they cannot explain. Every clock on the ship has stopped at the exact same time, 3:14 in the morning, every single one. The captain's pocket watch, the clock in the galley, the timepiece in the navigation room, all of them frozen at 3:14. The lead investigator orders the ship to be towed to shore. Experts are brought in, historians, marine engineers, scientists. They all want answers. The ship is examined from top to bottom. Samples are taken from the wood, the metal, the water inside the hull. The results are baffling. The ship has been exposed to seawater for 90 years. But there is no significant decay. The wood should have rotted. The metal should have corroded beyond recognition, but it has not. It is as if the ship was preserved, frozen in time. One scientist focuses on the water inside the flooded compartment. He runs tests and discovers something impossible. The water is not from the Atlantic Ocean. The salinity is wrong. The temperature is wrong. The chemical composition does not match any known body of water on Earth. He runs the tests again. The results are the same. The water came from somewhere else. But where? The logbook is analyzed by handwriting experts. They confirm it was written by Captain Thomas Harrow, the man who commanded the SS Arcturus in 1933. But there is something odd about the final entry. The ink used is not consistent with the rest of the log. It is newer, as if it was written recently. But that is impossible. Captain Harrow died in 1933. Or did he? The team digs deeper into the ship's history. The SS Arcturus was a cargo vessel that operated along the eastern seaboard. In November 1933, it set out on what was supposed to be a routine voyage, but it never arrived at its destination. Search parties were sent out. Nothing was found. The families of the crew were told their loved ones were lost at sea. The case was closed. But now, the case is reopened. Investigators track down descendants of the crew. They want to know if anyone has information. If anyone ever heard stories? One man comes forward. His grandfather was a crew member on the Arcturus. He says his family received a letter 6 months after the ship disappeared. The letter was postmarked from a small coastal town in Nova Scotia. It was written by his grandfather. The letter said he was alive, that he had escaped, that something terrible had happened on the ship. But the family thought it was a hoax, a cruel joke. They ignored it. The investigator asks if he still has the letter. The man does. He brings it to the team. The handwriting matches the ship's records. It is authentic. The letter describes the final days aboard the Arcturus. The crew began hearing sounds beneath the ship, knocking, scraping, as if something was trying to get in. The captain ordered the engines stopped. They dropped anchor. But the sounds did not stop. They grew louder. Men began disappearing, one by one. First from the night watch, then from the cabins. No one saw what took them. No one heard them scream. They were just gone. The letter says the grandfather managed to escape in a lifeboat. He rowed for 2 days before reaching land. He tried to tell authorities what happened, but no one believed him. They thought he was mad. He spent the rest of his life in silence, haunted by what he saw. The investigator reads the letter again. At the end, there is a single line that sends chills through everyone in the room. It is still down there, waiting. The authorities decide to send a dive team to the location where the Arcturus was found. They want to see what is below. The divers descend into the cold, dark water. They reach the ocean floor, and what they find is beyond comprehension. There is a trench, a massive underwater chasm. It is deeper than any known trench in that region. The divers shine their lights into the darkness. They see shapes, structures, things that should not exist. They look like buildings, towers, a city buried beneath the ocean. The divers try to get closer, but their equipment begins to malfunction. Their lights flicker. Their radios fill with static, and then they hear it. The same sound described in the letter. Knocking, scraping, coming from the trench. The dive team is ordered to surface immediately. They return to the boat, shaken and confused. The footage from their cameras is reviewed. Most of it is distorted. But in one brief, clear frame, something is visible. A shape, tall and thin, standing at the edge of the trench, watching. The authorities seal the site. No more dives are permitted. The SS Arcturus is moved to a secure facility. The investigation is classified. The public is told the ship was a hoax, a replica built as a publicity stunt. But those who know the truth cannot forget. The ship is real. The crew vanished, and whatever took them is still out there, beneath the waves, waiting for the next ship to drift too close, waiting for the next crew to hear the knocking. And when they do, they will disappear. Just like the 47 men of the SS Arcturus, gone without a trace, lost to the deep, forever. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe for more videos like this.